Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello, listeners. This is your host, Constant Taylor. Welcome to the show. Today we have a very special guest on the show, and you guys are in for a treat. You're going to want to listen to this entire program because this gentleman is going to share some very powerful information with you. Our guest today is Ryan Lowe. Ryan has been speaking professionally for over 12 years. The content that Ryan primarily speaks on is having a positive attitude and developing leadership in sales. Ryan is based out of Louisiana, and his latest book is called Get Off Your Attitude. Change your attitude, change your life. Ryan, that's quite a bio you have there. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. Now, we'd like to kick off the show by asking you to tell the listeners about your business and the types of services that you provide.
Well, right now, I primarily focus on two things. I do keynote speaking, motivational keynotes, and I also do trainings. I've been in the business, as you said, for 12 years. First got in the business, I used to promote Brian Tracy. So that's how I got into this business and really went around the country promoting his seminars and really enjoyed working with people and seeing them become successful within their personal and professional lives. I stepped away from speaking full-time for a couple of years and got into the corporate world and kept the business alive a little bit. But when I decided to get out of the business and I lost the company, I got back into the speaking business full time, and that's where my main brand, Get Off Your Attitude, came from.
Okay, great. Now let's jump into the book and let's dissect some of the components of Get Off Your Attitude. What's the primary message in the book?
The primary message is how to use a positive attitude to reach success in personal and professional lives. It's also to really highlight how important our attitude is when it comes to anything in life, and also how to respond to life when we're going through adversity, change, challenges, setbacks, anything of that nature. And when I came up with Get Off Your Attitude, I was going through a tough time. Like I said, I lost the business, and life kind of knocked me down pretty good. And I used that slogan. I used it for a while in my own life, and I still use it, but at that time I used it to get myself out of my own pity party and out of my own negative mindset. And that's what I do now, is share it with others. If it's in business, if it's in life, on how to use that positive attitude to overcome and win in life.
Okay, so exactly how is that done? It's kind of like, when you talk about having a negative attitude, when you talk about a serious challenge that you've gone through, telling somebody, hey, cheer up, it's going to be okay, stop feeling down, stop thinking those thoughts. And as you know, once negative thoughts enter your head, it's kind of like a snowball effect. They just keep coming and coming. How do you work with folks to manage all of that noise and to kind of shift that momentum from negative to negative, neutral, positive?
Well, really uncovering the obstacle of negative thinking right off the bat. Mm-hmm. And the way you do that is that you've got to know that it's coming. So once you know and you can identify that's a negative thought, you can identify it and say, you know what, that's not right. I'm not that type of person. And once you know who you are and what you're trying to achieve, you're gonna identify the negative thinking. You're gonna identify the negative people. You're gonna identify circumstances. To give you the best example, when I was in high school, I got shot with a 12-gauge shotgun.
Wow.
And it's something that, I look back on, and, most people look back on it negatively. It was something that really taught me about life, how to be grateful. And that's another way that I get over the negative thinking, is being grateful for what you have in your life and where you are right now. And understanding that life is not fair right off the bat. And understanding that there's going to be challenges, and that life, when life throws challenges at you, that you are that life is respecting you. And just in my own life right now, I've got different challenges, different things that I'm going through. And of course, just this morning, negative thoughts come into your head, and you just say, hey, you know what? That's not part of the game plan. And then you start thinking about your goals. You start thinking about what you need to do for the day, and those negative thoughts will go away.
Okay, that's very powerful, and it resonates very strongly with me, because when you focus on gratitude, it takes you away from, when you're grateful for the things that you have, it takes your energy away from the things that you don't have. So when you talk about getting off of your attitude, a key in that is having a attitude of gratitude. Is that right?
Absolutely. And it does. It takes the light off of the negativity. Takes you, they always say, don't look how far you've got to go, look how far you've come. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big believer in that, because when I started this business, I had no money, nothing, didn't even know how to write a book, had no idea how to get it published, didn't even know where to start when it came to speaking, and just put a little plan together, kept working the plan. And before you know it, doors started opening, and just, but the negativity, once you realize it's part of and the adversity is part of you taking off, then you'll understand that it's failure and mistakes and things of that nature are the key condiments of success.
How would you characterize the statement of embracing adversity? Some people try to run away from it. Some people try to manage it, avoid it. I was reading something somewhere, a quote or something, that talked about embracing adversity.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm pretty much saying is that understanding that adversity is part of the road to success. But here's what happens, though. Along that road, there's some people, and it's quite a few people, even myself, we get stuck. And it could be a negative person, it could be a negative comment, it could be a negative event, it could be a setback, it could be a challenge. And what happens is that brings in fear, stress, anxiety, bitterness. And when that happens, it keeps us distracted. And it keeps us stuck in that moment for quite some time. And I've had to learn myself, and I've taught others, that once you feel like you're getting stuck, you've got to write down the solutions on how to get unstuck, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. You just you hit on another strong resonation point with me. Number one was gratitude, and the other is writing it down, because whenever I've been stuck or had this negative attitude, once I start writing things down, it takes it off of my heart and my spirit, and it puts it onto paper. And what I find is that it's a lot less scarier when you're looking at it on paper than when it's rolling around in your head.
You're exactly right. I mean, one of the things I do anytime I have a challenge, I just write down the solutions to it. And also I write down the people that could help me with the solutions. Mm-hmm. And, if I have to call them and get advice, or if I have to go maybe watch a video or listen to a CD or something, or, if it's a friend, I could give them a call and tell them what I'm going through. And I think that definitely helps along the way as well.
Okay, excellent. Now, we're over halfway done here. What one message would you give to the listeners out there? One message that you would, if you had to leave them with one thing.
Follow with your attitude. Follow with your, take whatever you have in your mind and plug the positive attitude in with it. And I think if you plug the positive attitude and you plug in your faith, it will take you as far as you want to go. And, if you have faith in yourself, faith in others, and faith in a being that will take you, where you need to be, it's amazing what doors will open. But you have to believe and you have to have faith.
What about connecting with others? Most people have some negative influences in their lives, negative people that are in their ear. What advice do you give them for managing that, especially since some of them are family members?
Well, that's a great question, because I wrote a chapter called Soar with the Eagles. And there's a quote in there that says that you can't soar with the eagles during the day if you're bumming around with the owls at night. And in the book, and as I'll tell you here, that there are going to be negative people. There are going to be negative comments. But once you know where you're going, you know your goals, you know where you're heading, and you believe 100% that you can get there, and you've got positive people in your life, the negative people, they're going to come and go. I've got them. I've had my critics. I've had people tell me not to write books. People don't get into speaking. Don't get into speaking. You know how many authors are out there? Do you know how hard it is to get published? I've heard everything, and I just keep moving forward. And if you put any weight into what they tell you, then that's when you can kind of get off track. But as I tell most people, be careful where you get advice from. If they've never done it themselves, that's just their insecurities telling you that they can't do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's very, very powerful information. Now, if the listeners would like to get in contact with you and get your services, what is the best way to get in contact with you or your organization?
Well, my website is ryanclowe.com. That's RYANCLOWE.com. That will give you a highlight of all my keynotes, my my trainings, my workshops, and anything of that nature. And then also I have getoffyourattitude.com, which is really neat. I have a whole store of all caps, all that fun stuff. I have that on both sites, actually. But also getoffyourattitude.com will go in more about what that message is about and about what the book is about and my Goya movement that I have.
Okay, great. Well, Ryan, it has been a privilege and a pleasure to have you come on the show. That was some very powerful information that you shared with our listeners, and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me today. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.